Hello, guys. Welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to be joined with Jon Pegg. Pleasure getting him back on. And how are you?
All good, mate. Just finished at the gym. Just a little bit slower over Christmas, but yep, all good. Ready for next year.
Good stuff. And we'll start off with Ishmael. He's got a big fight. I think it's in February on the Newcastle show against Cameron Vong.
Yeah. Yeah, Ish has got to the stage now. He's won titles and he just wants good fights and good experiences. He wants to go on them TV shows. He wants to fight these good kids and get on with it because he's at the stage now that he's in his 30s. He just wants to enjoy it and it's about experiences with Ish now. He's had the fight, so why not enjoy it and get out there?
Talk about the fight he had with Harlem Eubank.
Do you know, Ish took it. It wasn't short notice, but it wasn't long notice either. And his stamina ran out, basically. He had a good little fight with him. He gave it a really good go. He wasn't outclassed. He wasn't badly hurt. Just his stamina ran out, really. That's all. Nothing more than that. And when his stamina ran out, the ref stopped the fight. Couldn't argue with it. Harlem goes on to bigger fights. Ish has got to take his chance in the next one.
And of course, a matchroom prospect in Cameron Vong. Do you know how many rounds it is? Is it an 8-round fight?
Yes, 8 rounds.
Do you guys feel like you'll be too much for Cameron and you're a step too far?
Do you know what? This lad, he must be good to be signed by Matchroom. But Ish has had a lot of fights. He's done 10 rounds. And we know that we're took up there not to nick the win off him, but Ish goes up there. He's a winning fighter. He's a former Midlands champion, and Ish will be going there to use his experience to take the win. But he's obviously a good fighter if Matchroom have signed him, and if they're ready to put him in with a former Midlands champion in his 3rd or 4th fight, they've obviously got faith in him as well.
Mm-hmm. And then you've got Niall Berry as well.
Yeah, Niall's looking at being on February the 24th in Wolverhampton on Sky. They've expressed an interest in him. I think he impressed them when he was on the Sky show last time. I've been talking about Niall for a long time. And I think now they're interested in having another look at him. They haven't signed him or anything like that, but they're definitely interested in what he can do. So hopefully we'll get a good, tough fight for February that he can really show what he's about. But I think this is going to be Niall's year. I think he's going to show a lot of people this year why I've been talking about him quite so much.
Do you feel like, because of course he said to me that he wants like the English title, the winner of Andre Grant vs Zahid Hassan. Is that would he get the winner of that?
I'd hope so. I'd hope so because he's done the job and he's a good prospect and everybody knows about him. So we will be pushing for him to be stuck in there somewhere, and hopefully with a big promoter backing you, those fights happen a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. So a big year for Niall, do you think?
That's what we're aiming at. We want his titles this year. We want him pushing in the top 10. And by the end of the year, if Liam Davis has moved on to world level, which I think he will, because I think he's that good, I would like Niall to be moving into the position for those kind of fights.
Mm. Yeah. Yes. Moose and Moyo.
Again, Musa needs to have a breakout fight. Musa needs a title fight. He was
scheduled for the Midlands, and then did he get injured?
He wasn't injured. There was a family issue. One of his family members was quite poorly. He's a family orientated person. So yeah, he's a little bit behind schedule where we'd like to be. But Musa's got all the talent in the world. He's just got to switch on and get it right and show people what he showed in the Diego Costa fight. He's more than capable of doing on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm. So when can we expect to see him back out? Do you know?
Well, we're doing a show in Coventry at the start of March. So I would expect to get Musha on there and then try and get him in a big fight after that.
Would River be on that Coventry show?
Yes, River's going to be on the Coventry show. Don't know what kind of fight he's going to be in because Rivers had a lot of tough fights last year. So we've got to make sure that we pick the right ones for him at the start of the year and get him ready for his next challenge.
Do you think he could rematch Ryan Kelly?
To be fair, Ryan's won that title and he'll probably get a British title shot off the back of that. So fair play to Ryan. He'll move on and get some good stuff. And I wouldn't blame him because if we'd have won that fight, I wouldn't be looking at a rematch. I'd be looking at moving River on. So while it's nice to get rematches, it makes no sense for Ryan and his team to have a rematch. Why would he when there's bigger fights out there for him? If we'd have won it, we wouldn't be looking for rematches. So I wouldn't expect them to either, to be honest.
So what's the plan for River? Try get him in. Try get him a couple of English shot.
Get him a couple of wins and get him in the mix at English level. River's more than capable of that. With his draw and split decision loss to Tyler Denny, who's now European champion, River's shown he's capable of mixing in that kind of caliber. It's just about getting the right one on the right night and making his breakthrough at a bigger level. But yeah, he's 29, so he's got plenty of time left. He's still ambitious. Losses don't mean anything because River's managerial stablemate will tell you, Sam Eggington, losses don't mean anything that you don't let them mean. So I've still got faith in River doing well, and I'm hoping he's still got the faith as well.
Scott Melvin, of course, is the Midlands champion at the moment.
Yeah, he's got a mandatory title defence that's been ordered against Amin Khalid. We're going to get that one done. Won't be easy. Amin's unbeaten. If Scott wins that, then I will push him into either an English eliminator or maybe even an English title shot because Scott's more than good enough. He's, I think, 24 years old.
He beat Mikey last time.
Yeah, in a really, really good fight. He's been nominated for Fight of the Year. And he learned him massively. He'd been out the ring for a year against a good unbeaten kid. And he had to come from behind to grind him down to get the win. And they're the kind of fights that you learn massive lessons in. So if Scott builds on that, which I think he will, makes a successful defence of his title, which I think he will, then we'll push him on to the next level.
Will that be on one of your shows or?
Maybe, but there's a lot of TV guys coming to the Midlands at the start of next year. All the major guys are coming. And, two local ticket sellers against each other. TV loves that kind of thing. So I'll give them first option. If they want to do it, obviously it means more exposure and better money. So we'd be daft not to. But if not, it will be on one of either mine or Errol's shows.
Yes. Who else is there? Casey Benjamin.
Yeah, Casey's just looking for the right fight at the moment. He's had a couple of offers against young up and comers, and we've said yes. And then the young up and comers have looked at Casey a bit closer, and they've turned him down. And I know their promoters haven't been happy with that because they think it's a good fight. But yeah, Casey's at that stage now where he's too dangerous for the guys in the middle, and he's too risky for the guys at the top. So we've got to keep him active, which is what we're trying to do with the smaller shows.
What about an English title fight?
Yeah, but it's putting it on. And the guys who've got the English title don't want to take the risk of the likes of Casey Benjamin, but they won't come to us either to box on our shows. So we just got to we got to play it smart with Casey now and wait for his chance.
When can we expect him back out?
On one of our shows in February or March, Birmingham or Coventry, one or the other.
Have you got dates for those shows?
Well, we was going to go the 24th, but then Sky are going the 24th in Wolverhampton, so we're avoiding that. So I think we're going the 2nd of March and the 9th of March in Birmingham and Coventry, respectively.
Isn't Ash Earls fighting Stanley Stannard on March 2nd in Leicester?
Yeah, on Carl Greaves' show. Yeah, so that's going to be good. And Ashley's training really hard. He's been sparring at the gym this morning with Sam Eggington, getting hard sparring in. So that's Ashley's big chance to step up to title level. But yeah, we'll be doing a show in Birmingham that night. None of Ashley's teammates will be on that show because obviously his coach will be with him over on Carl Greaves' show. But yeah, Ash has now got his chance to step up to 10-round level against a really good opponent and make a name for himself.
Do you believe they're both above that area level?
Well, no, because Ashley's never boxed above that level, so he's not above it yet. And Stan, he lost at English level. So if you lose at English level, the next level down is area, isn't it? So if you can't say you're above area level if you haven't won at the level above it, can you? Do you know what I mean?
Mm. What about the Commonwealth Silver? Of course, that's a new belt. Where do you rank that among all the belts?
I kind of think of it about the same level as an area belt, to be honest. It's like an area kind of level belt, but you can fight people outside your area, basically.
Mm.
You can fight people from like other countries if need be, but you'll notice it's mostly British guys fighting other British guys for it.
Mm.
For me, if you've got an area belt, sometimes there's not enough people to defend it against because the areas haven't got loads of people in the same weight. I honestly think it's the same level as an area belt, but it just means that you can fight for it against guys from other parts of the country. So that's how I look at it.
Fair enough. Sam Eggington.
Yeah, he's on the Sky show in Wolverhampton, February the 24th. He got offered a really nice fight, but then I think the guy's having second thoughts. But Sky have said that whether this guy takes it or not, Sam's on there because they've made the promise to him and they're going to make good with that. And I think Sam would have been a great addition to the last Wolverhampton show, and I think he'll show that on this one. I think Sam's a good addition to any show, as he showed against Joe Pigford, and he showed many times in his career. But yeah, he's going to have a big one there, and then hopefully push on for a big year in 2024. Sam's 30 now, so he might only have a couple of years left. You never know, he might have 5 years left. Some people keep going, but he might have a good couple of years left. So let's make the most of them and enjoy his fights while he's doing them.
Lewis Fielding.
Lewis, we're just looking what to do with Lewis because he's coming off a couple of losses that, some people might say, oh, I've had enough, but Lewis hasn't had enough. He wants to keep going. So we've got to be really smart and make sure they're good fights for Lewis because, he's not an age where he can just keep taking chances. But we've got to be smart. We've got to make sure he gets the fights that suit him. And we'll see how one fight at a time with Lewis. Lewis is in his early 30s now, but he's had a tough career. So one fight at a time. And the important thing is to look after boxers and make sure they're not out their depth. You know what I mean? With Lewis had some really hard fights. So I don't want to overmatch him because a lot of people will be coming in from TV with silly fights. And I won't be taking those. I'll be taking fights that I believe Lewis can do okay in.
So when can we expect him back out? March, April?
March or April, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to look to get all the lads started in the first quarter of the year.
Would Louis try and go for a Midlands title or?
If he got a couple of wins, yes. Yeah, if he got a couple of wins, for sure. He's had 3 bites at the cherry and he's just come up short. But he's still ambitious. All good fights, all close fights. So, so he's still ambitious. And so I've got to still do my best to help him with that ambition because that's the job. But, obviously, like I say, Louis just has to have the right fights for him at the moment. He don't need silly fights at this stage, the age he's at. He needs fights that suit him and work for him.
What went wrong with the top boxer?
It was a judging issue, an officials issue. We're still trying to get the semi-finals and finals done. So yeah, it was an officials issue, and it was a bit tricky. But rather than not do it at all. We wanted the first round, and it turned out to be 4 fantastic fights.
Great show. I mean, Tollerton v Williams.
That's been nominated for Fight of the Year as well. Not many shows you get where you have 2 fights nominated for Fight of the Year on the same show. So that's good.
And then the other one was Ryan v
Ryan Griffiths against
Vincent.
Yeah, Stephen Vincent. I just call him the Wasp because that's his nickname.
Yeah, the Wasp.
Yeah, that was a great
Ryan's fighting for the Midlands against Lewis Morris.
Yeah, who's he fighting for the Midlands?
Lewis Morris at featherweight.
Yeah. That'll be a good fight. That'll be a good fight.
Yeah, so he's moving down, I think.
Yeah. I think though when we do the semi-finals and finals, unless he's got a big fight lined up, I think he'll still be up for it. We just got to find a date that suits all 4 boxers that are in the semi-finals.
Dylan Norman won, and I think the other one was Michael Mooney.
Yes, yeah. Well, they'll both be up for it. Dylan's fighting on our March show. So maybe in April we'll finish off that competition because it was a lot of fun. And hopefully the next one we'll do all in the same night, the way it should be done. But,
Have you got any top boxers lined up or?
Not at the moment. Because everybody's kind of got fights coming up and everybody's ready for them bigger, like, top Midlands titles, stuff like that. So, but I will be looking to do one in the future because they were great fun.
And is there anyone we haven't spoke about yet?
Shakan Pitters.
Oh yeah, Shakan.
He unfortunately he had a really big fight fall through because the guy who was meant to be fighting got offered an even bigger fight. So now Shakan is just at the stage where he's training hard and waiting for a big opportunity because Shakan's he's a level of experience and an age where it's big fights only, really. We've got to make sure
Ben Whittaker, could that be a fight or?
It could do, but it would have to be a lot of money because they know each other well. We're very good friends with Ben and his dad. And obviously Ben's very, very good. So, it would be a really, really tough, risky fight. But even if it wasn't, it wouldn't be a fight that we just take for the fun of it because, they're personal friends and we know him really well. I've known Ben since he was a young lad. So, to get yourself in the mindset of trying to concoct a plan to beat someone who you really like, unless the money's really good, it's not a nice, comfortable thing to be working on. But yeah, that could happen somewhere, I suppose. But Ben's a top talent, so they'd have to pay us good money to even think about it. And I'm on about really good money.
What's your thoughts on Dan Aziz via Boatsi?
Oh, do you know what? I would have definitely 18 months ago picked Boatsi quite comfortably because I think Boatsi is a massive talent and he's really good and he can punch and he's tough. But I think Dan Aziz might nick it on like kind of activity and form. I think Dan Aziz is in the form of his life. Boatsi, through no fault of his own, has been as active as he should. And yet, if it was all just on statistics and who can do what, you'd have to pick Boatsi all day. But a lot of boxing is about form and who's boxing well at the moment and who's had the right fights. And I'm just picking Aziz to find a way to win and grind it out. But I like both guys. They're both good fighters. I like their work ethics and their attitudes. So I don't mind who wins because they're both good guys. But yeah, I think Aziz is going to pull off an upset.
Can you say like how many shows you've got booked in and the dates and where they are?
At the moment, only 2 because I kind of do a quarter at a time. I'll do like January till March, and nothing happens in January anyway. So I've got 2 in March. March the 2nd in Birmingham. March the 9th, we're doing something in Coventry. Then I'll have 3 one in May, two in June, and then I'll work out the second half of the year after I've done those.
Mm.
So it's more about quality than quantity with us. You can do lots of shows and you lose quality, but like the show where Scott Melvin won the Midlands title, we had 2 fights on one show nominated for Fight of the Year.
Mm.
So I'd rather do less shows and make the quality really good for the fans. The Midlands Area Awards this year, every single nomination for Fights of the Year involves one of our fighters.
Mm.
So it shows that we take good fights and our lads get stuck in. So that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for about 10 shows this year, maybe 8, but making sure that all those shows are really good quality.
Mm-hmm. And can you say who's on your first 2 shows, or is there an announcement coming soon?
Well, the first show will be mostly our Birmingham lads, and the second show will be mostly our Coventry lads, basically. We haven't really decided yet. We're just working out who's ready, who hasn't got a title fight coming up on another show. So, but yeah, it's going to be Birmingham one show, Coventry the other, and it'll be those kind of regions guys on each show.
Mm-hmm. And from me, Jon, thank you for your time as always.
Sam, just keep doing a great job, mate. I've already told the people at Sky that as soon as you're old enough to snap you up and give you a job. But yeah, keep doing it, Sam. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, Jon, and enjoy the rest of your day, mate.
And you, buddy.
Bye.